Fly so high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. Thank you for taking some time today out of your Tuesday schedule to pencil us in. We sure appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to be kind of in the soup as we fly from Charlotte, North Carolina, one of U.S. Airways' big hubs, up to Hartford, Connecticut. So hope you all enjoy. We're going to be in the ZIBO, as you see on the line. 737 flying again. Yes, we just did that in the surprise stream a couple days ago. Check it out. It's up on YouTube. Couple legs into the Maldives. So I hope you all enjoy. And let's get up there and get some flying done with Mike, shall we? All right, up in the office area, some call it the cockpit here, as we begin to get ready to go with this bird. Just give you a quick preview of the route here. About a 500-ish mile run from here up to Hartford, and I'm here to tell you we will do a good weather brief here, because the weather is kind of nasty up there, and not all the greatest here as well. All right, so let's pre-brief this, shall we? And then we'll get this rolled. All right, and sim brief. Never understand. It's supposed to fade in, and it just kind of pops with a fade. I don't get it. All right, but anyway, there it is. Sim Toolkit, the animal we use to pre-brief. I find it's a pretty all-encompassing program, meaning it's going to give you not only your weather, your routing, and all of that, but it gives you a good moving map to see where all the traffic is, ATC, and so forth. And as you can tell, the weather. And it is looking like it might be pushing out of the Hartford area. We had some freezing rain there about an hour, maybe two ago when I started briefing. So we'll see how this translates into the stream. Hopefully that means it's moving out of here. So we'll see if we get decent weather into Hartford. All right, let's kind of zoom in a little bit here, give it a chance, because as we zoom, it zeros. There we go. That way you get a little bit of a snapshot of the beginning here of kind of the balmy 4 departure out to Raleigh, Durham. So, all right, loadout for today. 110 folks kind of figured out, it's not really a good time of the year to go see Hartford, probably. Can we get an RCR check? We will when we're in flight, maybe. RCR is basically letting us know how bad is the runway for stopping on. So, anyway, we've got 110 souls going to be coming aboard, trusting flying with Mike to get them there. 25,300 pounds of payload. Locking out of here with 13,358 pounds of fuel. And gonna have some fun, folks, as we take the Barmy 4 out of here to NOWAE. I don't know how you say that one. NOWAE. And Q87 to Gears. Then BBOBO. Q25 to Robbinsville. Q419 over to DPK Deer Park, and then come in on the Deer Park 3 arrival. So game plan is runway 6. I haven't really looked at that airfield. If I'm not mistaken, this one I could be thinking a different airport. Looking at it real. Oh, we got 9,000 to work with. Okay, I was thinking of another one where we only had like 6,000 to work with feet of run. So anyway, folks, that is going to be our flight for today. I'll enjoy. Now, the fun part, the weather. Here in Charlotte, it's not all that great either. Winds are out of the north at 11, gusting to 19. Make sure we strap down those toupees on top of our heads. 10 miles of visibility, 4,000 feet for some clouds we'll meet up with, then a broken layer of 22,000. So all in all, from the looks of it here, folks, it's not a bad run out of here. Looking down below is the ATIS out of here. The ATIS is a hourly transmission, either tower approach, ground clearance, somebody puts out there so you all know what runway are in use, and they will throw in runway condition reporting. So we'll see here. I don't see any here. If anything, we'll have a wet runway. So again, the temperature here, 39 degrees. So Fahrenheit, 4 degrees for those of you in the Celsius world, which is pretty much everyone but the U.S. Simultaneous departures are in use, 36 center, 36 right, basically either side of the terminal. Runway 523 is closed, as it says, and we have to have our transponder at all times. Sorry about that, folks. Not a fun night. Anyway, so there we go, and it even tells us as of 22:52, the information is echo. So we would check in with echo. Down there in the land of, or up there in the land of Hartford, it is 26 degrees. Winds out of the north, 6 knots, and 29.69. So they got a little bit of a lower barometer up there. And we do not have a ATIS, probably because I'll have to check, but I don't think they are a D ATIS. I stand corrected, they are. So we could check the ATIS. We'll hold off until we get in the air. But right now, they've got, as you can tell here, a mile visibility. That's fun. Light snow, few clouds at 900. Overcast, that's what we're worried about. Few, yeah, they're just pesky. But the overcast sets the ceiling, or BKN broken. And today it's 2,100 feet. So that's what we work with. 2,100 feet and a mile, legal for the airport to depart. -3, we see what that is up here, 26 degrees Fahrenheit, and visibility 2.5, and so forth. We'll get a little bit more definition here. All right, so there's what we got planned. Let's bring up NavGraph so we can define that a little better. Here's the route, so you can get an idea visually now the whole route. And here is our illustrious ATIS out of the great city of Hartford. Okay, I'm not going to go so far to say great. I've been there. Wasn't impressed. Been there a lot, actually, driving the truck. So, again, the ATIS message always starts off with your identifier, November, then your quick shot of the METAR. Runway 6 is in use, so expect the ILS approach. And for the hawker out there, we are 555 on 6. So, taxiways, Bravo. This is real world, by the way, folks. So, Bravo, Charlie 2, Charlie 3, Delta 1, Golf, Sierra 1, Sierra 2, Tech 1, Tech 2, and the West closed, taxiway T closed. All of that, folks, is because I'm sure Snow Ops is in up, and they can't get to those cross taxiways yet. So in the real world, you may have to go to the ends to get to where you need to be. That's kind of giving you what the real does. Now, if VATSIM had one up here, we'd see that Pilot's Edge, and I would lay odds it would stop here, because they have no idea what all this is. But anyway, this runway code, by the way, folks, is what kept me up all night last night. So our airport had some snow that kept lasting and lasting. So we were up all night running the friction checks. That's what this it brings out, is what's called a runway condition matrix, and you're at 5s. Technically, we should be able to plug this into the plane and adjust, it would adjust some things, landing speeds possibly, and so forth. But so far, no one's taken it that far that I know of. So anyway, that's a quick rundown there. And let's you know what? Let's just get up here and get ready to go flying. I think that's what we need to do. I hope that was suffice for you there, Mr. Hawker, our moderator. All right. Anyway, folks, check him out over there. He's got a stream from time to time. Check him out. And a little more about our moderator. It'll take a second, but oh, you know what? I got to include. One of these days, that loose nut behind the wheel will learn how to type. Boy, the world will rejoice. I know. All right, folks, let's get going here. All right, now, ZIBO. Now, since our trip to the Maldives Sunday, we have had 2 public updates of the ZIBO aircraft, and we're flying one of them today, folks. So we get to see all what's new. And I don't think I even know how to show what's new off, so it's just up to date. Now, I am going to try to use the HUD in here today, since we do look like we're going to have instrument, but we'll see. Got a couple things I want to get wrapped up here before we get over here to the EFB, so hang on a second. All right, so fuel pumps going off, trim air on, isolation valve open, there, and just making sure. All right. Turn our lights up here. You would think after flying the plane 4 hours, it's Sunday, I would know exactly the key spots to hit and all of that good stuff. All right, and finally, bring that up, that up. Okay, radios look good. All right, so we have the cockpit prepped and ready to start here. Minus the fact I didn't do that. All right, I see that I forgot one thing that I like to get started when I fire up here. All right, so we've got the batteries off. Standby power, ground power is on. AC/DC voltmeter set to ground power. And folks, we're going to head over here now. ZIBO has really upped their game and upped it in a way that's already at a level way above what you guys play with over there in that other sim. Now they've taken it to where we can go into airline operations, airside services, as you see right here, and they up it a lot. Red Wild Gaming, welcome in, first time chat. Hope you're having a great night. I hope you enjoy the ride from Charlotte over to or up to Hartford. All right, but anyway, airside services. It's one of the neatest functions I've seen added to a simulator in a long time, folks. I mean, there are some similar products out there, but nothing to me that this does. In that, when I start this, activate it, not only does that jetway move up to my plane and the action starts, the fueling, the cargo loading, the people loading, the just getting the plane ready to go loading. All of that starts, and it takes about the time it does a normal turn, 40 minutes. Simply amazing. And then when you land, park, set your brakes, kill the beacon and seatbelt sign, it reverses itself, and you start unloading all of that. So I think ZIBO deserves a huge round of applause, folks, because not only do we get all of that, not only do we get an aircraft that in the flight sim world, the letters PMDG ring out authenticity. They put out some very real aircraft for the sims, for us to use in the sim. Yeah, great. And yeah, they hit our back pockets for it too. And no offense, they do deserve it. However, what ZIBO has done, taking that kind of quality, folks, that PMDG gives, bringing it into X-Plane, ZIBO has done a phenomenal job. Not that it's PMDG, it's ZIBO. It is no copycat here, folks. This is the real deal, ZIBO. Oh, I always forget to mention it's free. I'll give you a second to pick yourselves up from the ground from fainting. Yeah, it's free, folks. and you get some of the highest quality of flight simming you're ever gonna find. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I hear tears out there too. They paid so much, and all they had to do is come to X-Plane and fly ZIBO. Yeah, it's free, folks. So let's get going, shall we? All right. So when we go into airside services here, before you can do all of this, okay, you have to obviously tell ZIBO what the heck is it doing. So when you're in, let me pull up Sim Toolkit real quick. Okay. So when you're, and the reason, and it's not you have to pull up Sim Toolkit to do this, folks. You have to actually be in SimBrief. It's just the easiest way for me to show it off. I've added SimBrief down here. Oh, by the way, this program's free too. I know, I got to give you another second to pick yourself off the ground again. All right. So this is what SimBrief looks like on your computer browser. This little cog down here allows you to add some things. I've added my nav graph charts. SkyVector comes with it, and I've added DATIS. We'll show that off later. Well, actually, we'll show it off for departure, just for the fun of it. But we're in ZIBO, or SimBrief. So you go to your flight, view it. Now, this is the flight plan that I have planned out for Virtual American Airlines. That's another story in just a moment. However, to get ZIBO to know what's in here so it can then load it into your plane realistically, we have to download what's called the SimBrief downloader. And I don't know if that's going to show today. Let me double check that we have that in. Hang on. Wrong thing. All right. There we go. Well, one of these days I'll hit. Okay, good. I do have it still queued up. All right. So, pardon me, I am going to, let me just see if it's going to write over it. If not, we'll get rid of SimBrief. All right, so you get this program called Downloader. Once you generate that flight plan you see in SimBrief, doesn't matter what format you use, what airline, all of that, it just gonna download some information. You need it to download XML data file and ZIBO 737. Make sure your paths are set up correctly, and then just hit export. And you're not seeing the next message. It's basically saying, warning, these files already exist if you've already done a flight prior. And then it'll update them. So to the flight you're about to fly. Pretty cool. That's a neat program in itself. All right, so that works again from Sim Toolkit. Well, SimBrief. I'm looking at Sim Toolkit, sorry. Oh, excuse me. All right, so we've got our flight plan now downloaded. Now, let's kick it over one page to load, and we're going to click Load OFP. And lo and behold, look at this. There's our numbers. Just going to do a quick verification. All right, so we're planning the 110 peeps, 6,000 pounds of bags and cargo, 0 fuel weight at 117,194, and there's our fuel at 13,358. When I click activate, the timer starts, meaning we start moving. So the goal is, as I heard some real airline pilots say, when we start loading, we don't want the airplane waiting on us. We want it to be waiting on the flight attendants. It's kind of a little game, I guess they play. I don't know. But anyway, so we're going to try and do this kind of accelerated. So kind of have to follow along. If you miss anything, folks, here's the neat thing about flying with Mike. I have a YouTube channel. The good, the bad, and the ugly flights all go up there. Some of them aren't the greatest. However, they're available for you at that link that's in the chat room. All right, so let's get it going, shall we? Let's activate this pup and get going. Here comes the jetway, as promised. These triangles you see like this one will move you about, and it's going to keep your scorecard so you know how much is in your plane already. Well, we already have 84%, so it ain't going to take them long to fill us up. And then eventually the cargo bays will open up, the main door will open up, and the galley doors. Okay, but that's wasting time. Here comes the fuel truck. All right, so we left off with needing to get the IRS started in alignment. I know y'all say, well, it's already aligned. Well, we like to do it and make sure it is. Okay, flight recorder. You know, I always find it. You can hear this one real easy. The Mach airspeed warning. Yeah, that's a bad one too, but that one's hard to hear. That's the one we really need to hear. Anyway, because when you're stalling, folks, you're falling. You could be falling if you're going too fast, because your wings might rip off. Keyword might. But if you're stalling, you're falling. All right, passenger oxygen's normal. 3 green on the landing gear. Dome light service are off, and the radio audio panel is set. Reversers are off. EEC.
Fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Awesome. Thanks for flying with Mike there, Mr. Fuel Truck. All right, so our EEC electronic engine controls are on. Oxygen normal, and shows good on the gauge. Do a flight gauge check. ELT's armed. Let's get our alignment started. Now, if you didn't notice, I moved this switch to heading status. Hang on a second. Let's go over to nav. We'll talk about the on battery in a minute. The reason being, that number right there, folks. It's not a status code. It's just a very simple. You got 7 minutes to alignment. Now 6. The on bat you wanted to see when you went to align. That just lets you know that if you lose the engine, main engine generators, the APU generator, you still have the battery to tell you where you are. That's actually sometimes a really good thing to know where you are. Because so many of us are still trying to figure out where we are. Alright, so let's move on down to the main panel overhead. And basically, we're going to make sure, okay, we got our battery on again, standby power, making sure we're in ground power up here because we are on it. And our cabin utility, IFE pass seats are both on. Equipment cooling normal. I have turned the seatbelt or fasten, I'll get it right yet, no smoking light on since we fueled. Emergency lights are armed, and I've set the cockpit lighting to a preferable setting. Any collision lights are off, window heat's on, and let's go down here and for now enter the IRS position as it's asking of us. Bear with me. Okay, and to do this, you just click FMC. Verify your data, folks, especially the second line here in ZIBO. Are your nav data up to date? If you're flying as real as you can, there you go, folks. That tells you by the 24th of January, there'll be another update to download. It's a subscription-based service out of NavGraph. You guys on that other sim, you have a different one. But I think NavGraph is now compatible in some way. So anyway, continuing. So to get that reference, we just go put the airport in, KCLT. Drop down to the next. Today is an even day, so we'll go with that one. I always go with the second one, the right side in the 737. Just something I've always done. All right, and basically, I'm going to go ahead and put our destination, and it doesn't really matter if you do this. Oh, all right. I hope you guys are a lot warmer than we are here in St. Louis, where you're at. All right. All right, so we got the IRS position in. Let's go back up top. Probe heat's off, anti-ice off. Electric pumps are off for the hydraulic system. The engine pumps are on. Usually I get that backwards. All right, so everybody's here and on board, as we just heard. We didn't hear that message on the second flight. So now it's on us. We're behind the ball. Keep coming down. Fuel pumps we have turned off. Trim air is on. Isolation valve open. Packs are on, and our recirculation valves are in auto. Okay, since we're fueled, let's double check. 6.8, 6.8, okay, or 6.6, my bad. So that's over 13. I'm going to say we're fueled. If I go over here, it'll say 100, 120. We're not fully loaded with people yet. Come on. All right, our passengers are coming aboard, so we have a little bit more time. Those stragglers that think, oh, the plane's there, Muffy, we'll just go get a crumpet and some tea, and then we'll kind of go get a couple magazines, and the plane will still be waiting for us. We'll go down there and then get on it when we doggone feel like it. It don't work like that, folks, in the airline, although some of you really do think that. No, they leave. When that door closes, you're out of luck. But I do love watching it in the terminal. Yeah, we'll just take our time. We don't need to hurry. They can wait on us. All right. So we are ready to fire an APU up. You know, maybe I'll wait on the APU and make Muffy and Buffy have to sit back there in the cold. I don't want to burn the fuel. All right, APU's coming up. All right, we'll continue on here with a couple more things because there's not much more till we start programming that fun old program called the FMC. All right, so the fuel's on cruise altitude. You know, that's something we didn't really talk about, did we? How did I do that? Huh. Usually I have that on that page. All right, so I'm gonna have to work on it here, folks. Cruise altitude today is, ooh. Might have to wear your earplugs, folks. We're gonna be at 39,000 feet. Hartford is 170 feet above sea level. Now, in real world, you probably would set Charlotte first, just in case of a return. Otherwise, you could get away with setting the 173 feet, which, by the way, the Boeing 737 does in 50s, so you round up. All right, let's continue on here. Generators are on for the APU, so we'll get them on. Here comes the APU. And now we can warm those that thought they could just drag their feet. We'll get on the plane when we're ready. I've had enough alcohol, all of that stuff. Oh, me too. Think I'm going to fly this plane without alcohol? And then lastly, we move the switch up to APU. All right, folks, here we go. Time to do the deed of loading up the FMC. See how we're doing. 79%. All right. Here we go. All right, folks. Now, remember, from SimBrief, we used the SimBrief downloader to make sure we had the ZIBO mod in there, the flight plan, and the XML file. Those in there, when you click Flight Plan Request, basically going to go where those items are located in ZIBO for ZIBO, looks for them, and then it's going to ask you to load it. Now, if you're waiting and waiting, why is it not doing anything? Look for activate sometimes, and then look for the execute button. Otherwise, nothing happens, folks. And I am going to dial us out a little bit, put us on plan, and then come back down here. Also, I am going to bring in the program charts so I can size it better. And make it so that you can see, because what I'm about to do, oh my gosh, I can't see the FMC. Sometimes that's a good thing, folks, but not in this case. Here we go. Now, I do not hope to do any typing, so that's why I'm setting it up like I am. If I do, we'll work around it. All right, first thing I got to do, cruise, clear up the messages at the bottom. There's our flight. Now it's on us. Because they're ready to go back there. So we'll just go through here, BDL. Make sure you're... All right, and we're now closed in, folks. Okay, so let's go to legs real quick. And let's take a look at this bar me for departure. Runway 36. All right, so let's kind of zoom in and get a better read up here. And I'm going to go ahead and hide that. Okay, across the top, Charlotte, again, has it. Departure is what we'll use. Graphic will tell you the altitude. Charlotte Douglas is 748. Transition everywhere in the United States, folks, is 18,000 feet. Here's a little factoid. Everywhere in North America is 18,000 feet. There may be a little holdout rebel here and there, but 18,000 feet, the whole continent. I can hear you in Europe going, what? Yeah, pretty simple flying over here. To a point. They have their... yeah. Anyway, so today's flight again, we are... Let me put that up there so you can see it. All right, so we're going to take the Barmy 4 over to Raleigh-Durham. Oops, sorry, folks. There we go. So we're looking to go here, Raleigh-Durham transition. So basically, let's take a look here. We're going to vector out of here. See if we have a better chart. Let's look down here. Okay, for runway 36 Charlie, that is what we've put in request. Heading 003 to 1,260 feet. Then we're going to make a turn to 330 or whatever ATC tells us. And then our top altitude, if ATC is around 8,000 feet, more likely, maybe lower, maybe higher. But 10 minutes after departure, usually punch it up. And look at that down here. It says it. So once you do this initial, then you're going to get vectored to Meshi. Then you're going to get Barmy. So Gluffy, Barmy. And then continue on. We're going to the transition of... Well, that's for the other airport. Sorry, folks. And then we file the transition. So we're going to go Gluffy, Barmy, Bata, and then up to Raleigh, Durham. Again, 8,000 feet for 10 minutes after you release brakes. Then you can climb to cruise altitude. In our case, we probably, at the moment, go to cruise altitude. Again, here's how the vector looks for 3-6 center. We go here, turn left to 330, vectored to here. So we may get told to go here, 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 here. Hey, we'll put you on Meshi now. No, just kidding, folks. That would really stink. But anyway. So yeah, we'll just go here and then eventually start the departure. Pretty simple. Meshi, Gulfy. I'm just going to walk through it here, making sure we don't have any... Okay, the vector is going to do this. Here's Meshi. Gulfy, Army, Bata, RDU. Hey, that all looks good. Okay, and now we just walk it up here. You guys can see it. I'm just going to walk it up to our arrival. Just looking for anything skewed out. And a discontinuity, which will happen and should have, I thought, at DPK. Sounds like we have the flight plan into DPK and into Hartford. Because from DPK, as you can see here, folks, we go to MAD. I would be quite mad in the Northeast. And over to Briss. Or quite maddening. Anyway. And then here's our airport. And again, elevation 173. Also, 19,000. Hate to tell you this, folks. That's only 40, call it 42 miles to get down to 11 to then the next 20 miles get down to approach. So, yeah, get ready for some steep descents, speed breaks up, all that good fun stuff. Now, we do have a couple things to check here. Let's go to the departure arrival. Departure. Okay, active. And active. We're just making sure our information is correct. And over here, we're on the DPK 3, Deer Park 3 arrival. Planning the ILS to runway 6. Alright, so let's take a look at that real quick. Even though we're, 500 miles away, we can actually look at it here on the ground, folks. Okay, so we see Penna. Let's see if we can't zoom in. Not sure where Penna is on this. So if you're not sure, click the charts here. And it looks like that will probably be our transition. Actually, I'm just going to take it on to final. I'm not doing the hold. I think Penna would throw us into hold. And then when you click to the route, it closes the route into Hartford. So we're going to come back in to intercept the ILS. Pretty simple. All right. Couple of uses of tools here that we have at our disposal. while we're at it, let's one more time. Okay, so we've got that loaded. Let's take it one step at a time. Activate, go back to route. I am rapidly fell behind and forgot to get a program running. Bear with me here. Don't really get too overly concerned if the weights aren't 100%. Unless it's simple to fix, it's not. So, all right, and we'll put in the Newton City. Getting Top Cat ready. Okay. Oh yeah, I got to put in my fuels. 13, 380, 358. Okay, and our burn 6,800. Huh, always helps to put the right number in, Mike. 358. Okay, that's all set, so when we get to it, it's ready. I totally forgot to get that program ready. So that, folks, we've got our routing in using charts. So let's pull charts away. Wrong button. Try that one. There we go. Now I am going to bring Top Cat in and show you what we were working on. Basically just getting this to a point where we're close on this. We're off by about 300-400 pounds. Not worrying about it. I don't have our alternate in. I'm not really worried too much about that. Let's go to the take-on page. This, folks, is a program out there that is payware. It's really good for FSX. However, works really good for X-Plane. The profiling does, you're about to see just how well it works. All right, so we got our flight plan, as you saw here, completely inputted. Let's come over here, do the update. And it's giving us our wind of 340 F14. So obviously we're going to use runway 36. Center. Okay. Now, as you look at 36 center, you see it's a 10,000 foot runway. You see it's 150 feet wide. It's 3 degrees on the heading. Our information, you can set your flaps, you can set your thrust. I keep them at optimum, meaning it's going to choose what's the best. And click compute. All right, so it is telling us we can do a takeoff to departure. So let's get into this. First thing I'm going to want to do is here. Put our alternate in of, and I will have to type, so bear with me, folks, and I'm going to check that it comes back right. J, K, J, F, K. Go. Back to route. All right. That's actually not too bad, but it's still bad enough. There we go. All right. So from this page, we did the flight plan and assist, got all of this worked out, made sure our flight route is good. Reset my dials. back down. And now we do the init, fun part of the init. It only does part of it, folks. Okay, so we need to click perf init request. Give it a few seconds, and it will come up with our first page here. Okay, why is it not doing anything? Oh wait, there's a load. And now it has loaded it in. We can go to flight level 399. We're going to 390. I always like to put that in there. Okay, our zero fuel weight is 117.2, or actually that's close enough when you round it. Fuel 13.3, also when you round it, that's good. Now reserve. This is the tricky one. This one gets a lot of people. Now there is a flight plan in SimBrief. If you don't change the flight plan format of how it's going to generate it, you're going to get what's called LIDO, or just in other terms, call it default. In that brief, if you read down, you'll get to your fuel, and it's right up at the top usually. Look for, what I use is alternate reserve. I think that's how it says it, or reserve alternate. Basically, I want to make sure we already know we have enough fuel to make it to Hartford. But by regulation, you got to be able to go from Hartford to your furthest alternate. So you got to have that fuel, plus an additional 45 minutes of fuel for the FAA reserve. So, in this flight, we are looking at, and I'm just going to pull it up and do it in my head real quick. So 3.6 plus 2 is 5.6. I just dropped the tail end and just make it a decimal number real easy. And yes, you're going to get an execute. Notice what it's filled in. I've never checked to see if this stuff is correct. I am going to go on the assumption it is. All right, so we've done this. Yes, there is a page 2. Feel free to look at it. But we're going to come back, go to N1 limits. All right, here's where our program that's been sitting here waiting for us, TopCAD, comes in. Let's take a look at it. All right, so when we clicked compute, it came up with 48 degrees. Okay, let's start first in the beginning. Came up with flaps 1, takeoff 2. Okay, you can't do your flap setting here, but you can do takeoff 2. Then, now you saw it automatically adjusts to the optimum climb setting. We'll explain this here real briefly in a second. Then we're going to set our select temperature to 48. Haven't noticed the numbers up here have gone down. You got a 10,000 foot runway, folks. The airline's biggest expense is keeping you, the passenger, safe. The next one is keeping the plane safe, because if the plane's not safe, well, remember that thing I said when the stall warning goes off, you're falling? They don't like that when planes do that. So what they do, the engines, now everyone would think, well, we're running at 100% power for takeoff. No, you aren't. They're actually derating it enough to get off the ground, climb, while saving wear and tear on the biggest purchased item and upkeep item on the plane. And that's those 2 engines out there, folks. They don't run them at 100%. Those parts aren't always being taxed to the max. They're being pulled back, ran at a enough to do the job, but yet save the life on that engine just ever so much to get it closer to the major overhaul. That's the goal, folks. You got to do the overhaul, but if you can save time getting that engine, in essence, massaging it to get it there by not running it as hard as you do, that's how they do it, folks. Now, occasionally, yeah, we get bad engines. You know, welcome to the story of humanity. But if we can pull that power back a little and run it just a little bit below that, but yet still achieve getting it in the air, getting it to altitude, into cruise, great job. You've saved a little bit of wear and tear on that aircraft. That is the very simplified Flying with Mike explanation. You want a more in-depth one and one that might be way over your head, talk to a pilot. All right, so let's move on. Next category is takeoff. All right, now I immediately on this page click the line select by CG and it punches it in. And then I go to next page and you all are going, where's this page? All you have to do is click next page, folks. It's 2 of 2 right there. What this will do for those wanting a little more realism, it's not much, but it adds it to it nonetheless. Runway, wind. We got it, folks, right here, 340 at 14. Follow what's on the screen. See, it says heading, click, heading / speed, slope. Okay, I'll give you guys this one if you were skipping it like I was for so many years. It is so simple, though. I feel so bad. Plus sign is a U for up. Negative sign is down or is down. We have a plus 0.5. So we enter it U 0.5. Don't forget the slash. Runway heading 003. Folks, it gave you all the information you needed. There's your there's your temperature of 0 degrees. You are ready, folks, to come back to the next page. Finish it up. Flaps 1. And lo and behold, let's take a look at these speeds. All right, so we're showing 139. That's not bad, folks, off a knot. 140, off a knot. 144, dead on. I kind of go. I'll go with this one, and I'll go with the 141. And then that one. Those speeds, folks, are almost right here. Usually they nail it. So, again, the product is free, folks. So, any complaint you have kind of goes out the window, but I have hardly any complaints with ZIBO. He has mastered this aircraft so well that I will tell you, in my opinion, hands down beats PMDG. Get away just from the price tagging. As an airplane, put them up side by side. This one beats it hands down. And it has had the EFB forever. You all in that world of PMDG have just gotten an EFB. All right. So that, folks, brings us to where it's time to say sayonara to Charlotte. Okay, I'm just making sure I didn't miss any items here. It's still raining. Oh yeah, folks, when she said they closed the door, the jet bridge pulls away too. So yeah, we've been sitting here, they're waiting on us. Yeah, it's you wait on me, the pilot. I'm the one that counts. To go back to where we were in the beginning. All right, folks. So again, the APU is running. If you're not sure, check up here. Got the switch on, the EEG showing or EGT showing positive number, and that's off. It's running. Your bleed's on, and AC/DC motors are up. We're ready to go, folks. All right, I'm going to do one check here with Sim Toolkit. I'm not going to pull it up with you all. And I am going to go ahead, get myself on VATSIM. Hang on a second, folks. Just a technical difficulty. Just getting my... There we go. Okay. And let's look through it. Ooh, didn't bring a lot of stuff in. I hate when it does that. I know why it does that. Oh. And Charlie. All right, now we're set. File it. All right, let's head up here. Connecting to, and we will be on here as AAL2452, flying the 737-800. Connecting. All right, folks. I mentioned it in the beginning. I'm going to do a quick here for Virtual American, folks. Great airline. One of the followers here, one of our very important people, Bad Attitude, joined them. Haven't heard his experiences yet with them, folks. Great airline. They are way... Technology is outstanding. Speaking of technology, a car system. And booking. And start my flight. All right, they do have a phenomenal ACAR system they call Pegasus. I don't know if that's the actual company that made it or what, but anyway, great program. I haven't had any problems. The only thing you have to be, I want you to be buyer aware. So when you go in, do your best not to join. It's sometimes tough. Read as much as they let you read. Understand what you're getting into. Virtual American is striving to be as real, if not be further than real, with realism. Unbelievable. They are very strict on aircraft engine type on the aircraft, tail numbers, liveries, everything, folks. Then they get into, are you stable? Are you this on approach? And there's point systems assessed for all of this, which is how you get promoted within them. So, buyer beware. In this case, you're not buying anything, but you get it, folks. Be aware of what you're joining. I find that level challenging and enjoy it now. It was tough in the beginning because a bounce they recorded. 737 800 connecting to, and we will be on here as AAL2452, flying the 737-800. Connecting. All right, So a bounce was a problem. So they really are a good airline. I hope you all check them out. If you like what you see, join them, folks. I have enjoyed the last, I think it's close to a year now with them. And hope you do as well. Okay, so with all of that, I just saw a PDC come in. Do I have ATC here? No. Oh, yes I do. Charlotte Tower is online. Okay, hang on a second. Well, we'll see. We've had fun with PDCs here lately. I think they turned that auto one off. I hope so. I don't like it. All right, 7255. So I will set the 55 first, so I don't accidentally trigger anything. Okay, let's go through the get this thing started check. All right, finishing up here, minimums and barrows. Minimums. Oh, that's barrow. My bad. We'll go barrow. 1,100 feet. Okay. Then you could, if you wanted, set it in your radio to 400, and then assess. There we go. All right, coming down middle here. Okay, speed 144, so we'll set 154. I go V2 plus 10. 003. More than likely, we're only going to get 8,000, so we'll set it to start with and then be ready to climb, go higher. All right, we'll get our flight director on. Okay, auto throttle stays off, fuel flow switch set. Quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, front flight deck, we'd like to add our welcome board. Anticipate possibly some light bumps or some choppy air as we climb out. As a precaution, keep our flight attendants seated for a few minutes. Make sure we know, what that ride's going to be like before they get up. Also appreciate it if everyone would remain in their seats during that time. Thanks for being with us today.
All right, as you heard it, folks. Oh, my apologies for coughing like that in your ear. My apologies. Is Charlotte Tower up? Not showing them. Ah, he just came up long enough to go PDC. I'm not one of his anyway. All right, so here we go, folks. Final things. Landing gear down 3 green. Spoilers are up. Spoilers are down. Flaps are up and indicating 0 and 0 on the handle. Fuel controls are in the idle cutoff. Takeoff check. Okay. And parking brake set. We're ready to go, folks. Strap in. Time to go fly with Mike. All right. Couple of little quirks. Not quirks, but this is Boeing 737 quirks. All right, to start this beastie, you gotta turn your packs off. Gotta have the air pressure to get the engine started. And they say in my checklist, go ahead and hit cycle B and your collision light, and we're ready to go. All right, so here we go. Better push buck, where are you?
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing. Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
All right, as soon as the tow's here, we'll start our pushback. Engine start goes basically like this. We're on an even day, so I'm on the right side of things. For the ignition up here, let me just do that here. Then we're going to start up number 1. We're just going to turn it to the left to GRD, ground. At 17, we're going to set it to the fuel switch to idle, and that'll fire it up. Again, thanks for flying with Mike. I hope that intro part of an hour was helpful. I hope you all enjoyed it, and now it's time for the hour flight to our lovely place
looks like
called
the doors and hatches
Hartford.
are closed and we're ready to connect.
Clear to connect. Again, checking to make sure tower is not on, because they did come on to give us that PDC. This is not auto. It would have said auto up here. Is there anyone else here? Look like it.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
All right. Here we go, folks. Parking brakes off.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
And there you have it, folks. That is the flying with Mike way of getting the aircraft ready to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start cranking on number 1. Okay, again, just a real quick recap. System B, hydraulics are off, fuel pumps all on. Any collision lights on, and position light is steady. Here we go. There's 17. So long as you go from 17 to 25%, you're good. And then you'll get a light off. There goes our fuel flow, and you can see above the EGT going to town as he's turning us center line. Okay, it looks like we're stable. Go ahead and put us on the generator. However, leave us on the bleed for the APU. All right. See how we're doing. Good, turn the yaw damper on. We're ready, so we're going to go ahead and crank it up. Number 2. Okay, fuel on.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
All right, folks, again, glad you're aboard. Hope you enjoy the rainy departure, maybe worse, out of here. And looking forward to the flight to Hartford. All right, looks like we're stable on both. Okay, continuing. Engine 1, Engine 2 gens, that's right here, folks, on. Then you go to your hydraulic pump on. All hydraulics are on. Now your AC-DC switch. Gen 1 or Gen 2.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Thanks for flying with Mike. We'll be watching for that pin. Probe heat. On. Anti-ice on. Okay, now what he was saying is watch for the pin. There's our pushback tug, folks. He's going to step out with the pins in the air. Now you can, I've seen it where they flash. At night especially, because they're not going to see up in the cockpit, you're not going to want to turn that white light on. He now saw that we know we have it. We're good to go. Finally, left and right packs. Go to open, and the APU bleed goes off. With the APU bleed, make sure you're off the generator. You can turn the APU off. One step closer to taxi, folks. Flaps to 1. Reject takeoff. Runway turnoff and taxi lights. And then come down here to your transponder. I go ahead and throw it in TARA on the ground. That way I don't forget. And then turn your radars on. So we do have some traffic over here. Not much though. Here we go. Charlotte traffic, American 2452 taxi to 36 Charlie. And no ATC. I'll put that out there so you all can help me if I miss it. All right, 36 Charlie. Alright folks, just got a few things set up so you kind of watch how we're transitioning through here. The runway 523 issue, that's right here. Runway's closed today. Here's our ATIS on the real time here. Again, simultaneous departures 36 Charlie. Don't see anything out of the ordinary here. Also, we can check ETARs. Okay. You can also check them in plane. I'll show you here in a second. Let's get across 523. And working our way down to the end there on 36 Charlie. Okay, how do we check that real quick? Come down here to your FMC, click menu, E-Link, AOC, West Weather, KBDL. Caught you off guard, didn't I, folks? Send it. Come back to it in a second here. I want to make sure where we are. Message received. Currently 320 at 8, 10 miles and overcast -3. Nothing in here telling us of precip. That's a good thing. Then, oh, not that page. We want to be on that page. Actually, I think we're still off one. There we go. All right. Now, you could get told to take off at Echo 2, and then they would give you the distance. And you could, set your FMC up for that shorter distance. I'm just going to do Echo 1. With the temperature being 0, we do know it's been raining off and on here. I'm going to de-ice. I do not know the procedure at Charlotte for de-icing, if they do it literally in gate like we do, or if they have it set up like Philly does at a prepared place. We're going to go with it here, brake set. Why, you ask, am I going to do this? Well, because we can. Time now 6:26 Central Time or 0 0026. You have 30 minutes from this point now, folks, after being de-iced to be airborne. Or you have to be re-de-iced. And there you have it, folks. All right, we're de-iced, ready to go. Okay, hang on. A little different middle panel I'm dealing with here, so bear with me, folks. All right, so lower cam set, and here we go. Make sure nobody's popped up. KC, Boston, Jack's okay. We will be talking at least to Boston, if not others along the way. Charlotte traffic, American 2452 departing 36 Center. Here we go.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
View is off. Strobes, second switch all the way to the top. Sorry, no auto switch like Airbus. Houston's online, Kansas City still checking. Okay, if anyone comes online now, I'm going. Okay, 40% Toga.
knots.
E1, rotate. Positive rate.
Oh.
$400. $1,000.
Autopilot on. Let it go ahead. Take us out. Then we'll do our vector over to the Meshi. Roger. American 2452 up to flight level 390. Alright, let's heading select. Alright, after takeoff checks. Auto brakes are off, engine start switches to auto. I never moved them to continues like I should have. And landing lights will go off at 10,000 feet. And American 2452 turning to 130. Intercept to Meshi. Alright, how are we going to get direct to Meshi? Quick. Come down here to legs. Go Meshi. Push it up top. Execute. And now, instead of 130, we're able to go direct 120, most likely to Meshi. Okay. I guess we could get into Jacksonville. That's possible. Let me see. I don't think we do. No, we don't. We would be DC at this point. Okay. All right, folks. So there you have it. We're airborne on our way up to Hartford. Yes, we're set for daylight flying only because. Hang on a second. Let me. Save our ears. You wouldn't be able to see the plane that well. Alright, we're through 10,000. Go ahead and kill our lights and press on north.
Such as your first check bag free, preferred boarding, and no foreign transaction fees. Not an aviator card member? See a flight attendant and receive an exclusive offer when you apply in-flight today. Shortly, we will begin our in-flight service. We offer a selection of complimentary beverages. Wi-Fi service is available on this flight. Connect to the AA in-flight signal and open your browser. You can access AA.com free of charge to view flight connections and other travel information. If you need to power your device, AC power outlets are located at every seat. While you are seated, please keep your seatbelt fastened and visible to the crew when the seatbelt
You don't like
signs
the
on.
map up there, Hawker?
Turbulence can happen unexpectedly. If you open an overhead compartment, use caution, as carry-on items may have shifted during takeoff.
All right, folks, we are. No problem. Hey, I'm here for you all. So I just put that up so you all get an idea what we're flying. But hey, I can keep it stowed away. All right, let's see here. Actually, all right, let's see. We're through 18,000, so we'll go ahead and set the transfer. And we are into cruise climb. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the wing lights and seatbelt sign. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Put her back in LNAV. So we're going to do the same thing here, folks. Clear that message. We're going to go to this time turn it into LNAV. There we go. All right, we're getting turned on course here, folks. Get the first officer set up here a little bit better. All right, if you haven't been watching the winds, folks, here, right here are your winds, right under your speed, 249 at 114. So I'm guessing the higher up we go, the higher the speed. So right now we're looking at an hour out, and we're going to enjoy the ride to Hartford. ATC is starting to come alive. It should be. It's prime time U.S. time. And turning on course. Let me go ahead and reset out to 40 at least. Traffic's on, radar's on. Okay. And we do see blips on here, folks, with the radar. They're of the green shades, and they can be quite light to see. You'll see kind of like a haze on it. It's like we're back in, you know, World War II with this stuff. But, hey, it's better than nothing. So, wish we could get it more of the yellows, the reds, so we know the severity of what we're getting ready to go into. All right, let me get rid of our ACARS message. Alright, there was an interesting message in that PDC. I didn't see any speed restrictions. There are no speed. If he's referring to the obstacle chart. See any speed restrictions. Interesting. I don't see any kind of restricted on speed unless I'm no 250. I don't know. Alright folks, well anyway, we're on our way. 13 minutes since break release, and we should be an hour out of Hartford, so enjoy. Now's a good time if you want to put a prediction in. I'll get mine in just so I don't forget like I always do. But it's basically the exclamation mark, folks, the word predict, and then a space, then add a negative number. That'll get you in the running, see how well you can predict how good or bad I will do in Hartford. 9,000-foot runway on an ILS, hopefully with visibility and all, we should be okay. Alright, looking ahead, again, we're looking to be down at Deer Park at 19,000. Just getting my handy dandy calculator out. So about 80 miles from Deer Park, we're looking at our descent point. Okay. Boy, I got a lot of emails here. Just going through some emails here, folks. Sorry, making sure I don't miss anything from anyone out here. All right. All the fun of the world here of late, folks. got all caught up. Now I'm able to live in the country. All right, so let's take a look at our arrival, shall we? We're now headed out of Raleigh, Durham, headed for our top of climb, which is about 40 miles out. And looking ahead here, I'm going to go ahead and put up our charts program. Hopefully you all can read that. If not, I know you already can't. I'll just make it bigger for the moment. Here's our ATIS. And I can get it to, I'll get it to you a different way. If you go to this program, click on the link there, folks. That's going to take you to the digital ATIS system. Scroll down, look for K, B as in Bravo, D as in Delta, Lima. Click on it. And basically you're seeing the same information right in front of you. Alright, so for the ATIS here, we have a commercial break, so I will slow down a little. Still got condition codes at 555, so the runway's in good shape for landing. A lot of taxiways closed. Still runway 6 in the ILS. Oh, and VATSIM has one. As expected. You can see it on the screen, folks. Do you see any reference to how the runway is? No. It's because most controllers on here don't know what that is. And I'll be honest, I don't know how well the sims themselves modeled that. So when we drop it to a 333 or a 353 or whatever we have out there, I don't know how well the that factors in on your rollout, taxi, all that good fun stuff. So that's why it may not be in there. It may not factor all that much. Although we did have a pretty slippery runway about this time last year up in Anchorage when we were taxiing a 747 on it. Alright, so we can expect the ILS and runways 1533 are closed. Alright, so that is, if we were right now, we'd use information Foxtrot there. Alright, otherwise we're planning again Deer Bark at 19,000. I said it's roughly about 80 miles out from there. We'll start down, unless of course ATC says do it earlier. Alright, let me go ahead and put that back. So it's not blocking everything. There we go. Cool. Alright, so we got a little bit of a glimpse at what we have waiting for us up there in Hartford. I think the weather has pushed away, but not knowing how the sim weathers interact, how up to date they are with the real world, you could very well fly right into what it was 4 hours ago. So who knows? Alright, top of climb, folks. Let's be nice to the passengers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So we're level to our initial cruise altitude, expecting a fairly smooth ride today. We have the seatbelt sign turned off, and while you're seated, we do ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened about you at all times in case we encounter unexpected bumpy air. If we do, thank you for flying with us on American.
The clouds just continue to get better. Oh, by the way, folks, if you didn't notice in the opening to the stream, we had an update also with the release candidate we're using in X-Plane to 5. I think I read in the notes they had a issue with something in the Red Sea coming up, and they corrected it real quick when you flew over it. So I don't know. That could have been a flight coming up here in the next few weeks, but for now we're over North Carolina and Virginia. So yeah, we did have an update. So hopefully, when you guys fire up, we go, oh my gosh, not another one. Yeah, it happens, folks. We're still waiting for them to uh, bring on X-Plane 12.1.0 or whatever beta I end up in. But I look forward to that. I'm curious what's next. I mean, that's how ZIBO is. Every time, folks, ZIBO updates almost every day, if not every other day. That's how we went from 8 to this is version 10. Now, if you want to know how to find what ZIBO release you have, come here to your EFB, this question mark, click on it. There's your release. So when you go out and go, do I have the latest and greatest? When you go to their Discord channel at Skymatic, they actually keep up with all of the updates, and they do a lot of testing. If you watch their videos, folks, a lot of them are testing betas for the next release, so you can get a glimpse into what's coming. You 737 drivers that don't fly pretty much anything else want to stay up to date with this, because man, the update came for that airside service. That was amazing. But now the update is in place where the HUD is much better. We're going to try it again today. We had troubles, not so much troubles with it seeing through it to see my runway. And that may be an actual, don't get me wrong, that may be something actual out there, because you are looking through a projected image, which could make it tough with the runway. So also, when you have the HUD in your settings on, you get this lovely gauge so that you can set up for your arrivals. In the meantime, let's turn the camera on. What? Yeah, we have the camera. I can look down the aisleway for the doors, either side or straight here in the center, see who's out front, the cockpit door. All right, so let's see where we are. We have, looks like about 40 minutes to finish the flight off here. Top of descent isn't for a little ways. So what I am going to do, I'm just looking quickly at SimBrief. Top of descent stands at 270 miles out. Let's go ahead and do that pre-brief. So, the right button there, Mike. Go. And yes, we're going to be using charts. All right, so we already know this chart. We've been seeing it for quite a bit. So I'm going to bounce back, let you see where we are along the flight. We're down here. Now, I'm not centered on the plane, so you can kind of see what all we have to fly through here, folks, to get there. Now, EPK, I'm not sure where we're ballpark. I'm going to ballpark it maybe here. between these three fixes, JOPO, RBV, and this one. Not close enough to read Lauren. Actually, it's Brand, I'm thinking. So Brand, RBV, and Lauren. Robbinsville, by the way, just so you know. All right. Again, the weather. 3:30 at 11, 10 miles of visibility, and our ceiling is set now with a broken layer of clouds at 3,100 feet, backed up at 5,500 feet with an overcast layer. Temperatures are below zero. The time's ahead. Okay, and this actually is what breaks it down. Even what I call the scientific stuff that comes after the altimeter, the remarks and all of that, it even breaks down what a lot of that means. So it's really cool, folks. It's a neat feature with charts. It's added charge to your monthly subscriptions for updating your FMC to start with. But in my book, I mean, having all of this at my fingertips, especially when I'm flying, is a godsend. All right, let me get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of charts one moment here, folks. I'm going to bring in, we talked about DATIS. If you go to that site, datis.cloud.io, I think it is, something like that. Here's what it looks like. When you bring it up, you just pick select facility, BDL, and there it is. As of 0051, they had strong north winds at 9, gusts to 20, 10 miles of visibility. There is a little discrepancy right now because they're not completely up to date yet, but runway 6 in use. Expect the ILS. 1533 is closed. Runway condition codes are 555 as of 1845 Zulu. So pilots would then take this, put that into their RCAM or TALPA information, and figure out their takeoff landing performance, including the setup for the runway. And that's why I wish this would find a way in, but I think it probably might be on the complicated side. Something just tells me. So, but anyway, I wanted to bring that up here real quick. So let me up. Wait a minute. I did not bring it up. I thought I clicked on it. Sorry, folks. All right, so here it is, DATIS. Let me just go somewhere else. Then you just scroll down, find BDL, which is where we're going, and there's the information. There's your 555. Also, this is again real world. You will not get this much information out of VATSIM unless they copy paste. And they'll go, most of this won't even affect us. De-icing procedure in effect. So, irregardless, you're going to have to be de-iced. All right, so boom. And now we'll get rid of Sim Toolkit over here and bring charts back in for the brief. Could have done it, but then you don't get to see a lot. All right. So we're back to running the chart. Now the neat thing is, and I do have it out of sight, I can actually put an overlay in to show us this in relation to the world behind it. Now, does it blend in? No. Not by a long shot. So, but we might be able to zoom in and start getting our, nope, they're not going to tell us. I don't know, not even up there. Okay. So yeah, probably around Brand is where we'll start our down, be at 19,000 here. But for the brief, let's do it this way. All right, so we'll start up at the proverbial top of the page. There we go. Again, it says it's DATIS. ASOS when the tower's out. There's your freak. There's your requirements. Radar required, applicable to arrivals 11,000 and above. And your routing from MAD VOR to BRIS vectors to the final approach. By the way, folks, this is not an RNAV approach, meaning you literally could fly this via Deer Park VOR on this radial and this radial to Belt or to MAD, then this radial to Bliss at doesn't 27.5 DME out here, and then get vectored onto the ILS. Yeah, flying the older aircraft, you got there's one of your approaches that you can fly legally. Pretty simple, straightforward approach, folks. All right, let's get Top Cat in here. Why? Need our speeds verified. All right, so as of right now, okay, we're on the takeoff page. Let's click landing. And a real quick check. $123.2 is what we're expecting. Looks like I think that's what I saw. 123.6. We're fine. Flaps 40. Let's see. We're coming in runway 6. Got a 9,500 foot runway. I think we can get away with flaps 30. Anti-ice all on. Go with an auto land just in case with a braking of 3. Update the information up here. Okay, it's minus 4 degrees Celsius. And translates out to burr. Alright, so our landing approach speed will be 143. We'll get into the charts here in a minute. But 143 is what we're going to fly the approach at. Land, if everything works right, at 137. And back to charts. You guys are going, oh, I'm getting sick of this thing. Alright, last chart to look at. Let's look at our landing. It's a Jepson chart, valid since October for runway 6. Again, we're going to Penna, Genid, Honey, Jetix onto the runway. Get to the minimums here in a second. Radio frequencies we may encounter. We could try to tune in, won't probably work. Bradley approach. For us coming in, most likely it would be this one over here. Not to say they may have that one running, if they even have an approach running on VATSIM. Bradley Tower and ground. Okay, we will have to dial in 111.1. We'll set 58 degrees up here. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Real world, you wouldn't be doing this right now with your radio. Way too far out. But you're at least briefing it right now. Okay, Honey, right here. It's just about 7 miles from the runway. That's where we got to be at either 1800 MSL, think of it as above sea level, or 1627 feet above the ground. We have to cross it there and be on the glide slope going in. In my case, at 7 miles out, if we're not at 143, which we determined as the approach speed, we will be very close to it. Because from there in, I'd like to be fully configured if we're in the soup. Alright, speaking of minimums, 200 feet AGL. Or you could set a barrow at 373. Barrow is working off your altimeter. Bracketed above the ground is working off your radar altimeter. So when that shows 200 or 800, depending which one you're reading from, they're the same point in the sky, folks. You better see the runway. Otherwise, it's go around time. And speaking of the go, missed approach, we climbed to 4,000 feet, left direct. So we go to 4,000, folks. Then make our left turn, BAF VOR, and we go into interesting here. I think we're going to have to do procedure turn to come back into this. Fly through it, turn around, come back. I can't remember the name of that. Teardrop? No, teardrop's the other way. Interesting entry pattern for the hold here. Your altitudes in inches of mercury, not HEPA. Transition level, I told you in the beginning, folks, 18,000 feet. Welcome to the North American continent. Here's some other tidbits to know. Radar is required, and visual guidance, which I think in this case are PAPIs, may differ from your PFD. All right, let's do the meat and potatoes here. So we come in, maybe Penna, maybe Janet. We'll see how this works out. And at Honey, again, 1,800 feet. Penna, I'm going to shoot for 3,000 feet. But 1,800 feet is mandatory by Honey, 6.9 miles out. And then we just track down the ILS. Alright, now this chart works somewhat. I've had troubles with it, and it may be misguided ideas on my part. Remember, I was just a private pilot when I flew. So I don't know the instrument procedures here. And some of these indications on the chart kind of throw me for a loop. But again, refreshing us, we had 143 knot VAP. So that's what we're going to be flying. So when we look at this chart, my bad, clicked the wrong one. Yeah, I am now. Okay. We look at this chart. 140 is right here at 2 minutes 6 seconds. So from Honey to the missed approach point, 200 feet above the ground, right about a mile out or so, we should see the runway and go around. Or we should see the runway and go in and land. If we don't, we go around. Okay. Again, 743 feet a minute is what we should be kind of seeing here. Good luck. I think it's only going to say 700 or 800. So we'll do our best to maintain if the glide slope is not there. Alright, now moving over to the right, there's your approach light system. It's an ALSA 2. Whole bunch of lights, folks, and it's just that, meant so you see environment, and then you have to get to the next layer before you're able to land. Little tidbit, folks, right here, this weird looking set of lights right here, that's kind of a visual cue to help you align your airplane for the runway. So the Mausers have a row of 3 lights. They have a row of 3 lights plus the ones going on the outside. They're used for alignment purposes. because you may not see your PAPIs yet. And even if you did, they're only vertical. They're not, how is your wings? Are they left or right? Are they even with the runway? So, little tidbit to throw in. And then your missed approach again spelled out for you. Finally, what you can accept to be able to come to the airport, or do a Category 2, Category 3 if you are certified, airline certified, airport certified, which it is for the chart, and the aircraft, and you, the pilot, are. So, currently, our minimums are 373 feet MSL or 200 feet AGL. Same point in the sky. Keep that in mind, folks. It's not saying, well, why can't it, is it a range? What is that? No. Bracket is above the ground. Bold is MSL. But ultimately, it's that same level in the sky. So you have to have this. If it's below, we look at a Cat 2, Cat 3 arrival, auto land. So you got to have your ceiling. Also have to have your visibility at either a half mile or, if they're reporting RVR, 18. And then if we lose lighting systems. So there you have your charts. There you have your speeds. We are set for the arrival. And now we're going to get rid of charts. Let's get something set up here. Back right. All right, let me get myself back. Oh, BDL has an approach. Look at that. Yippee, yippee, yippee. We'll be... Oh. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to be coming into, it looks like Boston. I don't see anyone else, and then BDL. Okay. So let's pull Boston up. By the way, Boston last year was the busiest center in VATSIM. A couple of years running. All right, and then approach. Checking to see if they're using it. 20 95. Okay, so they got the northern approach. And then did I see tower? No, we do not have a tower or a ground. And we do have ATIS if we... Okay. Alright, so you see how these frequencies, you can start lining them up. Granted, all I can do right now is put Boston in, unless someone sneaks in before them. So we're going to sit back, relax. We got a little ways to go. According to the FMCs, we're at 80 miles to top a descent. Not a lot of break here, folks. So let's get into it. 5 minutes ago it was 2970. So what I've done here, folks, and I have yet to find this in any other aircraft, I can preset my barometric pressure. So when we drop below 18,000 feet and you might be in the soup at that time, hit that standard button right there and it'll go to 2970. I'm not seen that in any other aircraft. And I'll be totally honest, I don't even know if I saw that in PMTG. Six minutes ago, folks, we're still runway condition code at 555. Alright, just doing some checks here, making sure we're good for the approach. Again, we'll pull up our METAR. Get an updated run. We'll get a okay, as a 51 Zulu, we've got, there's your weather, folks. And we're actually okay on fuel. All right. That wind is now 252 at 140. So we're really getting a good push up here. Now, remember, folks, you get a good push this way. Oh, we're about ready to get pinged, I bet. Well, maybe not. They may say, yeah, you're about to leave. Is that where? Second, what's my limit set? That's what I was afraid of. DPK is 19,000. We're going into our descent right now, folks. Bad thing on me, I did not check to see how we were set up here. Okay, let me pull back, top of descent, right at RBV. So I kind of figured between Brad and RBV is where we'd start down. So that should say 23 miles. Let's set it for 19. Again, at DPK. 19 at DPK. And folks, as you can tell, we are. Folks, as you can tell, we've somehow come alive here. Hang on, which one's talking? Didn't hear any echo, so my apology for those of you that had it. Okay. All right, so let's set up to begin our top of descent. We are now 12 miles out. Top of descent can be done a couple of ways. We got a different type of FMC here. You notice what's missing. A lot of times you see climb, cruise, descent. You only have a VNAV page, so you can go here, click next page, and get on this page right here. If you were over in Europe, you would need to check your transition level and set it. Being in the US, 18,000 is the correct. Let's request our descent winds. Okay, ready? Load it. Alright, it unfortunately does not fill in. So now, go back to RNAV, next page, and we just hit descent now. Is it descending? If not, it is. Okay, it automatically did it. Had it not started down, or let's just hypothetically say they wanted us down earlier. You have descent now that you saw here, and altitude intervene. Either way will move you up or down. Whatever this is set out in relation.
Philadelphia traffic, UPS 1302, fully established ILS 27 right on a 12-mile final. Philadelphia traffic.
Alright, so this, relative to where you were at. So if you were below it, it'll climb. If you're above it, it'll descend. That's how that button works. Same here. If you want to see your speed or you want to take over it, you click speed intervene. It'll put it up there, then you got the dial. So I hope these little how-tos help you with this plane. We are descending to be at Deer Park at 19,000 feet. I'll go back and check our speeds here in a minute, in case you all want a nice snapshot of it. Alright, and we just got our ping we expected from Boston. And I wouldn't be surprised if we change the squawk codes.
Flight level 100. Good day.
American 407, Kodak Ponset.
Kodak Ponset, American 407.
Boston American 2452 with you, descending for 19,000 at Deer Park.
American 2452 Boston Center, hello, and you're about 30 west of Deer Park right now, is that correct?
Affirm, we're just now getting over JFK.
Good night, 2452, thanks for your contact, descend and maintain flight level 190.
American 2452 continuing to flight level 190.
X958, descend via the J Fund to arrival, runway 33 left, Boston altimeter 2960.
We'll descend via the J Fund 2 for 33 left, FedEx 958.
X958, thank you, and when you descend, do not exceed 280 knots.
We will not exceed 280, FedEx 958.
American 407, descend and maintain flight level 330. American 407, descend and maintain flight level 330.
American 407 down to 330. Sorry about that.
Thank you. World Travel 731 Boston Center, hello. Climb and maintain flight level 320.
I'm gonna maintain flight level 320. World Travel 731.
Boston Center, good day. 312 passing flight level 8,000.
United 312 Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 320.
I'm gonna maintain flight level 320, United 312.
Alright, folks.
And
yes,
let's see here,
I'm gonna
FedEx
get a little
320
quiet.
contact Boston approach 133.0, have a good night.
Approach on 133.0 for FedEx 320. How are you this evening?
Boston Center, good evening, Delta 5351, direct Grecki, 11 for 17. Delta 5351 Boston, hello, climb and maintain flight 270. Up to 270 for Delta 5351. At 8050 New York approach, LaGuardia is offline, so be Unicom from here. Have a good night. United 8050 Unicom from here. Have a good night.
Alright, forward to Unicom. See ya. Thanks for everything. Bye-bye. 8050.
American 142, contact New York approach 128.12. Have a good night.
125, American 142. Thank you for the service. Have a good day.
Ring 766, contact Boston approach 133.0. Have a good night. Ring 766, Boston approach 133.0, please.
133.0, Speedway 766.
618 Victor Charlie, cross Devaney at and maintain 1000, Bradley altimeter 2970.
We will cross Mazzini at 111,000, 6
Verify Devaney 1000.
Vandy 11,000, 6
Yep.
Boston Center, Delta 1549, checking in, flight level 370 over view.
So 1549 Boston Center, hello, radar contact, maintain follow 370.
J370, Delta 1549.
Boston Center, this is Southwest 1202. I'm about 30 miles west of your FIR, but approaching TOD into Albany. I just wanted to check in.
Let's pose it to Boston Center, hello, what's your position in relation to your next waypoint?
We're about 12 miles from the next waypoint, which is View.
Let's pose it to, thank you, Boston Center radar contact. Descend at Pass discretion, maintain 1000, the Albany altimeter 2982.
My discretion 11,000, 82 on the altimeter, Southwest 1202, thank you.
Let's pose it to, thank you, and plan on the ILS runway 1 approach.
Okay, we'll plan ILS 1 in Albany, Southwest 1202.
EPS 1026, descend via the J Fund to arrival, runway 33 left, Boston altimeter 2960.
Send via J Fund to arrival, expect runway 23 left, altimeter 2960, GPS 1026.
1026, thank you. Maintain 280 knots for now, and then follow these speeds starting at seats.
Turning speed to 0 after following speed starting at seats, UPS 1026.
Okay, 3277, welcome to Portland, Alpha Charlie to the ramp, have a good night.
3277.
Clips 2270, what's your airspeed right now?
We're showing 270.
Okay, if you can, try to get up to 280, the seats restriction is at 280.
Okay, we'll try speed up 280 knots, Eclipse 2270.
Yeah, thank you, United 220 Boston Center area and frequency.
Boston Center, November Taco Front, Sierra, we're back.
Okay, thank you.
United 220 requesting read back.
United 220, climb and maintain flight level 360.
United 220, climbing, maintaining flight level 360.
2452, cross Madison at and maintain 1000, the Bradley altimeter 2970.
American 2452, Madison 11,000. Oh, I didn't get out. Madison at 11,000, American 2452.
American 407, descend via the J Fund to arrival, runway 33 left, Boston altimeter 2960.
Descend by J Fund 2, 3 left, altimeter 2960, American 407.
407, thank you, and when you descend, do not exceed 280 knots.
Do not exceed 280 knots for American 407.
LX 515, descend and maintain flight level 320.
KD7, maintain flight level 230, FedEx 515.
Okay, we're gonna have to try.
320, 32.
Flight level 320, FedEx 515.
Void 3325 Boston Center, are you on frequency? Delta 5351, while I have a break, plan on the ILS 33 at Burlington.
We'll plan for ILS 33 at Burlington for Delta 5351, thanks.
Tiger 5, descend and maintain, flight level 240.
Level 240, Tiger 5, baby.
FedEx 515, Cleveland and Toronto are closed, so be Unicom from here. Have a good night.
Over Unicom for FedEx 515, heavy, thank you.
Number 618 Victor Charlie, contact Bradley, approach 123.905. Have a good night.
12395, have a great mission.
Center, good evening. Envoy 3325, flight level 310, about 20 east of Cortland.
Envoy 3325, Boston Center, hello, radar contact, and maintain flight level 390.
Did maintain 310 for Envoy 3325?
Sorry, yeah, 310.
Alright, we'll keep it the same place, 310, Envoy 3325.
Okay, folks, we are getting ready to be handed off to approach.
We'll travel 731, climb and maintain flight level 380.
Maintain flight level 380, world travel 731.
2452, contact Bradley, approach 123.905. Have a good day.
123.905 for American 2452. Thanks for the ATC. Bradley approach. American 2452, approximately 10 miles from Madison.
American 2452, Bradley approach. Bradley altimeter 2970. Expect the ILS runway 6 approach.
Rogers, ILS 6 for American 2452.
Bradley approach, November 1409, just connected to the frequency, maintaining 10,000 runner.
Don't have him on.
Bradley approach, good evening, Scout November 9, come back at signature with golf, ready to taxi.
85 Quebec, runway 6, taxi via Delta 2, Delta 1. Advise ready for taxi. Correction, advise ready for departure.
6, Delta 2, Delta 1. All advise ready for departure, 85 Quebec.
1409er, Bradley approach. Bradley altimeter 2970. Expect the ILS runway 6 approach.
Expect ILS approach on runway 6, November 1409.
Tire 5 Mike Echo, you can taxi signature via Sierra Delta 2.
Sierra Delta 2 to signature, thanks for the help, 95 Mike Echo.
Bradley approach, they have a problem here, 9 Quebec on the ground signature. We have the old map. I'm looking at Alpha and Juliet in front of me.
Alright, November 985 Quebec, you can take Alpha Juliet Romeo to runway 6.
Juliet Romeo to runway 6, thanks, and we'll update that, thank you. 85 Quebec.
Number 618 Victor Charlie, descend maintain 9,000.
9,600 for sure.
American 2452, descend maintain 6,000.
American 2452 down to 6,000 from 11. All right, folks. Again, sorry for the quietness here. Looking back, thank you there. ATC is doing, yep, you're right there, Hawker. They're doing pretty good here while I got a quick break, taking a cue from Boston. Yeah, really doing a real good job. I don't think I have a tower. Doesn't sound like it.
Bradley approach, Mooney, November 208, Michael. 2081 Echo, Bradley approach. Thanks, sir. Mooney, November 208 Echo, looking for Hartford across to Boston. We have information. Mission Golf. Hey, 1 Echo, stand by. There 618 Victor Charlie, descend maintain 5,000. 5,600 Charlie. There 2081 Echo, air clearance, 5's ready, copy. Copy, A1 Echo. A1 Echo, you're clear to the Boston International Airport via Railway 6 departure, event as filed. Maintain 4,000, expect 9,000 as your final altitude, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is with me, squawk 5503. Mooney, November 208 Echo was cleared to Boston, Bradley 6 departure, then asphalt, climb maintain 4,000, expect 9,000, 10 minutes after. Departure frequency is with you, and squawk 5503. 81 Echo, read back correct. Advise ready for taxi, expect runway 6.
Rally departure, Scott, November 9 Quebec, holding short, runway 6. Yeah, what should be Delta 2, but it's Romeo. Ready for departure.
November 985 Quebec, winds 350 at 9, gusting 20, flight heading 095, runway 6 cleared for takeoff.
Flight heading 095, runway 6 clear for takeoff. 9 back, thank you.
November 81 Echo is ready for taxi. 81 Echo, runway 6, taxi via Delta 1, advise ready for departure. Yeah, runway 6 via Delta 1, 81 Echo. American 2452, you're 8 miles from Pease. Turn right heading 030, maintain 3,000, maintain 6,000 until established on localizer. Clear ILS runway 6 approach.
My departure, Scott, now, can you say winds again, please?
American 2452 030 to intercept the ILS 6.
Winds 350 at 9er, gusting 20.
Got it, thank you.
Error 618 Victor Charlie, contact Boston approach on 133.0.
1330, have a great rest of your night.
We're 81 Echo, holding short to runway 6, ready to go. 81 Echo, hold short, runway 6, traffic is departing. With 681 Echo.
Bradley departure 95 Mike, Echo at signature with golf for looking for IFR back to Boston.
There 95 Mike Echo, you're clear to Boston International Airport. Via Bradley 6 departure, event is filed. Maintain 4,000, expect 9,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is with me, squawk 0065.
Clear to Boston via the Bradley 6 departure, then is filed 4,000 upon departure 123.95 and 0065. 95 Mike Echo.
95 Mike Echo, read back correct. Advise ready for taxi, expect runway 6.
We'll advise, 95 Mike Echo.
November 985 Quebec, radar contact, climb maintain 5,000.
Climb maintain 5,000, 85 Quebec.
Alright folks, real quick here, we're just tracking down. Honey is right here again. Let me get us on the ILS.
November 2081 Echo, winds 350 at 9er, gusting 20, fly heading 095, runway 6, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, heading 095 and clear for takeoff for runway 6, November 208 Echo.
Alright, so we're approaching Penna, which isn't marked on the chart, but then we'll have Genid, and then
November 985 Quebec, turn right heading 180.
Alright, and
Right turn
Honey
1085
is
Quebec.
1,800 feet, but will be fully established.
And Bradley departure 95 Mike Echo, ready to taxi for departure.
Number 1409er, turn left heading 240, vector to final.
Hey, we're popping out of the clouds. That's always
240,
good.
November 140, Nana.
Number 905 Mike Echo, runway 6, taxi via Delta 2, Delta 1, advise ready for departure.
Runway 6, Delta 2, Delta 1 will advise, 95 Mike Echo.
Gear down, 3 green. I don't think we're going to see the run this far out.
Number 1409er, descend maintain 6,000.
Maintain 6,000, November 140, Nana.
Number 2081 Echo, radar contact, climb maintain 9,000.
To 9,000, November 208 Echo.
Hey, flaps are set.
Number 85 Quebec, proceed direct Hartford.
Proceed direct Hartford, 85 Quebec, thank you.
American 2452, winds 350 at 9er, gusting 20, runway 6, cleared land.
American 2452, clear to land, runway 6. See how this works. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with him. Some offline practice with him.
November 81 Echo, proceed direct Putnam.
Oh, okay, I see
Hey,
the
direct Putnam, 908 Echo.
Now that I know where the runway is, let's try. I thought that's where all of this was supposed to line up at. That's how it used to with me.
1,000 feet stabilized.
Just weird that it's way over there.
Attention all aircraft. Bradley approach will be closing in about 15 minutes.
500. Approaching minimums. 400.
Hey, plane's mine. We're stable and landing.
200.
Number 1409, descend maintain 3000.
Descend maintain 3000, November 1409.
40. 30. 20. 10.
knots.
When you know, taxiway's after it.
American 2452, you can taxi to Toronto via Charlie, Echo, Sierra, cross runway 33.
American 2452, I believe I heard Charlie, Sierra, Echo to the ramp. American 2452.
American 2452, that's Charlie, Echo, Sierra, cross runway 33.
Sorry about that, a lot going on in here. Cross 33 Charlie, Echo Sierra to the ramp. That go out, I hope. Bouncing around, I didn't. Okay, I hate these.
Departure 95 Mike Echo, ready to roll.
Number 95 Mike Echo, winds 350 at 9, gusting 20, fly heading 095, runway 6, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 6, fly heading 095, 95 Mike Echo.
Oh, dang it, I missed Echo. And my apologies, approach. Looks like American 2452 missed Echo.
American 2452, no worries. You can do taxi via Charlie and Sierra, cross runway 33.
Charlie, Sierra, cross 33, American 2452. Sorry about that.
No worries.
The heck was the runway in front of me? I have no idea, folks. find out when we get parked.
Air 409, turn right heading 330.
Turn right heading 330, November 1409.
Air 95 Mike Echo, fair contact, climb maintain 9,000, proceed direct Putnam.
9,000 direct Putnam, 95 Mike Echo.
Niner 85 Quebec, I have a amendment to your route, advise ready, copy.
Ready to copy, 85 Quebec.
Niner 85 Quebec, you're clear to Boston via rear vectors Putnam, Papa, Uniform, Tango, direct wounds, Whiskey, Oscar, Oscar, November, Sierra, direct Boston.
Quebec is cleared to Boston via Putnam, Papa, Uniform Tango, Wounds, Whiskey, Oscar, Oscar, November, Sierra, then to Boston. 9 Quebec.
85 Quebec, rear back correct, turn left heading 070.
Turn 070, 85 Quebec.
November 81 Echo, contact Boston Center on 134.7.
134.7 for November, Desert Michael, thanks for the DC.
Alright folks, we made it in here. I haven't looked yet to see how good, bad, or ugly that landing was. Brake set. Making sure. Alright. Alright, let me finish the shutdown here because that's where I've been getting hung up here. Okay, trans starts are good. Just the weather is clearing up here. Flight directors can't off then. Radars are off. Lights are off. There we're. Alright, we are I think at a point we can shut down. No, we're not.
Niner 85 Quebec, when able, proceed direct Putnam.
When able to direct Putnam, 85 Quebec.
Glad we did that, folks. Otherwise, we'd have shut her all down. And approach American 2452s in the gates. Thanks for the ATC and sorry for that mishap.
American 2452, you're welcome and no worries.
Okay, we're going to come offline. And go to standby here. NOWAE was shutting down, folks, but still. Let's see here. This flight. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see how we're looking here. You can already see the gates already to us. You can also get over here, go to your weight and balance, airside, and watch as the cargo's already out. 92% of the people are out. And as we look outside, of course, there's no loaders, but that's okay. We are in good shape, folks. We landed. All right, let's see how we rated up with American. 301 feet a minute. Hour and 42-minute flight with them. Let me file the PIREP. Filed. And second, I'm sure they're going to make me log back in. They did. All right, total points. Now, we should have received extra points for this. This is one of their focus airports. All right, so I got, oh, that's not retracted. Oh, they're not all the way up. Doggone it. Because I got 160 extra points had I not screwed up there. Oh, well. See what I mean, folks? They really get it. There is importance to that flap up. I thought I clicked enough times on it and didn't. Oh, well. You know, you can't do everything right every time. But everything else looked good here. Like I said, 361 feet a minute for the landing. Or 301, my bad. So overall, the flight for that was really good. Get my OBS up here. Gonna go ahead and clear that. Clear charts. And we'll get rid of the overlay up top. Alright folks, looking over, let's go to the other item we use for our learning tools. Oh wait, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry folks. I saw the word Sim Toolkit and ran with it. Alright, so Sim Toolkit recorded us at 404 feet a minute, as you see here in the bottom. So I'm not overly concerned. Let me finish the flight here in Sim Toolkit. Okay, find your flight, click on it. There's what we flew, folks. Even that little weirdness down here we did. Then we get into our details. Just a basic overview. 1 hour, 41 minutes, 550 miles, 3.4 kilograms of fuel, 3,400 kilograms, we'll call it. Landed at 1.5 Gs, 404 feet a minute, slow. Supposed to be at 137, they got us at 122. I thought we were faster, but that's, you know, I'm not going to argue that. We were long, 2,100 feet down the runway. It's because when I came off autopilot doing a couple of other things real quick to get back under the aircraft's control, we rose up a little bit on the ILS. Had that been in the soup, that could have been a problem, folks. So that's something I've got to work on. So again, speed 122, 404. Not bad, folks. I'm going to say, just not bad. But you can see how this works to help you. This is the magical point you're aiming for. It's these two big pads are very easy to see in the cockpit. That's why. So you can visually land there. Plenty of runway to go. Your PAPIs, your ILS are all lined up right to put you in here. However, the landing zone stretches from here to here. So from these hash marks back to the threshold line. Not to say you can't land out of it, just meaning you've got a lot of less runway to use to get stopped. Especially again when you get into the soup that Connecticut can be known for in winter. Alright, and again we're the cockpit, not here. And again, we're parked right about in here. Whether that's for American or not, I don't know. I didn't look up gates. Should have. All right, folks. Now we're going to try one last learning tool we have here. Let me just see where we stand here. Yeah, we'll give them a couple more minutes to get off. 10%, we'll wait. The stragglers who think they can sit and go back. Okay, if I stay here, maybe they'll overlook me and I'll be able to ride back. That's just like me hoping they'll put an extra seat in there so I can go to Florida on the Allegiant flights out of here to get out of this cold. Then when I get back, get a frying pan upside the head because the wife's going, why didn't you take me? All right, so we're down to where it is done. I actually haven't seen this. Is the jetway going to pull away? I don't know. Never waited this long, folks. Okay, the doors are still open. We'll go ahead and close up. Oh, I just put those on. My bad. Okay, so we're green. Doors closed. Jetway's away. All right, what we're going to try to do here, folks, is rewind and see how we did. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. Let's go. We'll start from here, just because I don't want to risk my chances. Get some music up here. And let's take a look at it, shall we? All right, now we saw there's the runway. Now I believe the HUD will work. Let's take a look here and see. Okay, we're not going to get the nomenclature on it. All right, so you can see the runway out here. I had a couple things to configure that I didn't do. Here we go. See how it did. We already know long. See how those pads stick out, folks? And of course, because I was coming in a little cockeyed, that's why it went like that. All right, not a bad landing, folks. Not at all. Let's go back and take a look at it again. Flared high, that's why. I mean, granted, the airplane's already kind of flared, but you push it just a couple degrees more to get her on the ground. See how it looks right there, folks? Okay, so that's things I have to work on. Here you go, Hawker. I know you're wanting to take a picture. Screenshots. Freeze frame. All right, let's go back and see how the passengers enjoyed this endeavor in here. Let's start off this way. Little wing bounce there as we go into reverse thrust right here. How do we look out this side? Flaps are set. Of course, we go to a commercial break. All right, let's go back one more time, and hopefully they'll be out of break, and we can watch from the tower. We could just do. Oh, that was fun. Watch. I didn't know I could do that. That was kind of cool. Whoop, wrong one. It looks like no tower view today. All right, thank you, sir, for the clip there, Mr. Hawker. I wanted to see something down here. It sure looked like there was a runway out here. Well, anyway, folks, that was a great flight. That was fun. Really enjoyed it. That's why I kind of started scooting, thinking that was a taxiway. Lo and behold, it's a runway, not a market. So, well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the flight. Thank you, Hawker, for the moderation. Folks, if you're new to the channel, hey, smash that follow button. We'd love to have you follow us. We really would. Tomorrow, we've got a flight planned out of Miami, however you want to say it. But hope y'all can join us. Hopefully we'll get a little earlier start so our folks in the European continent get a chance to watch as well. So hope to see you tomorrow, folks, down in the Abouts where you'll find the details. So again, Miami for a flight wherever it says down and about. All right, folks, y'all have a great day. I hope your week's going well. And stay warm, folks. Oh my gosh, is it bitterly cold out there? Little bit of relief coming to St. Louis next week, hopefully to the rest of you all. Folks, we'll catch you all tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.